Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Think Small podcast. I'm here today with Rene Rodriguez. He's the president and CEO of Speaking Roses. My name is Monica Dema of MD Inc. I am your host for today's conversation with Rene. Rene, thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us about your business and about Speaking Roses.
Oh, no, thank you for having me over. I appreciate it.
Great. So let's jump right into this. Speaking Roses is a very unique business. I'd say it's one of a kind in the country, perhaps the world. What is it about the company that is such a force in the industry of flowers and promotional items?
Well, if you really think about it, and the reason why we're disrupting the floral industry is because we basically patented the ability to print messages on real life flowers. So yes, so think about a greeting card. Greeting card is a piece of paper, but now it has the graphics, emotions, messages on the paper. Well, we do the same thing, but on a flower. So Speaking Roses, we create the ability to print messages on the petals. It could be logos, it could be phrases, pictures, images, anything you want or customers want. And by doing that, we learned something very, very magical. We learned that, people love memories. People love to, buy a hat and a mug and a t-shirt. And because of that, people love to associate themselves with the brand that they follow, the singer that they follow, the sport team that they follow. Whatever, what they follow is they want to have something with the logo. Well, we learned how to do that on a flower. So by printing on the flower, we discovered that we're opening new markets, new categories that nobody has ever been able to open before. See, flowers, most people don't know in the United States that the rose is the national flower of the United States of America, Most people do not know that. Plus, this is what I tell people all the time. I said, the first gift ever given in the world, it was roses in the Garden of Eden. If you read the Bible, you can see that Adam gave flowers in the Garden of Eden, and there were roses. You can fact check me if you want to. And then you have to go read the Bible, of course, right? So by doing that, we learned that the first gift ever given, how is it possible that there's no brand worldwide in this category in the world? Every industry in the world has a brand. Like if you think about sportswear, you think about Nike. Watches, you think about Rolex. Coffee, you might think about Starbucks. Even bananas has Chiquita. Well, what about flowers? How come the oldest industry in the world doesn't have a brand? And that's what our goal is, to become the worldwide brand in this category.
Fantastic. Did you try other flowers before you settled on roses?
Oh, yeah. We can print in basically anything now. Birds of paradise, calla lilies, Chinese bamboos, poinsettias. Yeah, we have done a lot of different flowers. But roses is, now we transition from roses, from live, fresh roses to real forever roses, which now people can keep the memories in a rose that looks, smell, feel, and touch, but now it will not die. So the memories can be preserved for a longer time.
Beautiful.
So that's why companies and corporations are loving it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes it a great promotional gift too. And I know our audience can't see it, but your background behind you is Rolex, CBS, Fox News, anniversaries, weddings. All of these opportunities are great ways to showcase roses or flowers with some kind of memory on it or promotion on it. So I know you said why you've chosen roses as it's one of the first gifts in recorded history. I also understand roses to have the highest frequency of any flower of 320 megahertz. So when you have roses in your home or vestibule, and you don't just get one rose. Sometimes you do if it's very romantic. But usually it's 6, 9, 12, 36 if you're super lucky. And the magnetism of those flowers can really change the vibration of the person receiving it. It makes them feel loving and happy and joyful. So I personally love receiving roses for that reason, and their beauty and their scent as well. So roses being the national flower of America, do you see any uptick in roses in either the supply or the demand with the 250-year anniversary coming up?
Well, in fresh life flowers, probably, but the industry has grown so much. The logistics are already in place. I mean, there's so many different places. I mean, California is producing a lot of roses. Mexico is producing a lot of roses. The roses that we use, they come from South America. And the reason why is because those roses are literally the best quality roses in the planet. Not because any specific reason other than is the altitude. The altitude, the climate conditions, all that create a big role into creating a very strong roses that last longer than the regular roses around here.
Yeah.
But most people, they consume roses for decoration.
Right.
The ones that we're doing right now, they're forever roses. So we have warehouses with roses already. We already plan ahead, so we're good.
Fantastic. So you brought up a few interesting things there. The logistics side of what you do in sourcing from South America instead of, for example, California. Are you noticing anything different, again, with the supply and the demand for your business, with maybe demand going up with the tariff situation?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. The tariffs absolutely play a role into that. But the margins of those roses, the way that we buy it and the volume we buy and the quantities we buy, it really doesn't really impact a big price point for us into buying it in bulk quantities. So it's not a big price of increasing in the price. The ones that create more challenge for us is when is the packaging. The packaging is where we see the prices increasing more, and because prices come from we produce in the United States. There are some parts that we produce some packaging, specific items that we produce in Asia,
right.
and different parts of the world. And that's where we see some of those impacts more than the flowers on itself.
Okay, yep, that makes sense. And shipping and things that need to travel far distances too with the price of fuel.
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So you also mentioned quality in Southern American countries where the roses is better because of the altitude. So how were you able to determine that? Trial and error or just personal contacts?
Yeah, I mean, once you are in an industry, you start learning it in and out, and then there's no shortcuts. You have to learn it, test it, prove it, check it, and then you start realizing the differences, right? The strength, the length of the life shelf on the flowers, the maintenance, the thickness of a petal, of the leaves, of the stems. All the roses are connected to the stem, and all those, the anchoring is stronger, in those roses. There's so many little things that we are able to understand from a different perspective because we handle them all the time for so many years.
Moving back into what the Think Small podcast talks in these conversations, where do you see the company growing? What's next for you?
So, speaking roses right now, we are focusing we have our e-commerce channel, but what we're focusing is in two main channels. Number one is we're looking for distributors. We're looking for selected type of distributors. Why? Because now our flowers can be sold in every gift shop, every souvenir shops, and there's over 60,000 of those in the United States. We can't do it alone, right? Because now I can have flowers and I can have Harley Davidson flowers in Harley Davidson stores. I can have Louis Vuitton flowers in the Louis Vuitton shops. I can have Coca-Cola flowers. I can have, like Disney was, one of our customers. Mm-hmm. So we can have flowers in every one of those gift shops because now the roses, they become a lot more than just the flowers of decoration with a meaning.
Right.
Now they have a reason why, because they have the brand or logo that people wanted. So by doing that, we are expanding our network. And then once we expand that, we personally are focusing and working with distributors and also the florists and funerals. Why? Because florists already have the customers. So we have a specific program for florists. So when you buy a flower, for example, from a flower shop, and it's a special event. Well, if the flowers died, well, now we allow the florist to stick one or two of our roses that says happy anniversary or I love you or will you marry me or I'm sorry, which is very well sold, right? And then we literally allow the florist to upsell that order with a few forever roses. So then guess what? In a week or two, all the roses are dead except for that one. Mm-hmm. And when that happened, people literally put them into, or the florists put them in a beautiful, packaging where people can actually, it could be a beautiful packaging where you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you keep that memory forever, right? Mm-hmm. So then those memories that we as humans love to keep, now people have the ability to do that. That's what florists now, they're loving this program. So our vision with this is to replicate this model country by country. So our goal is to become the largest flower brand in the world.
That's a tall order.
It is a tall order, but hey, I will lie to you if that's not what we're looking for because we see the potential of this.
Okay. And, just to give the audience some perspective, how long ago did you create this company?
So I started with this concept in 2002. So when I started selling the fresh flowers, we realized that, what is this? What is this? This is not flowers. So we learned that by printing on the flowers, we basically create a new category. So think about paper. Mm-hmm. Paper alone is an industry, but paper printed and packaged now is a book. Or paper printed and packaged now is a magazine, or a greeting card, or a catalog, or stickers, or wrapping paper. So all those categories were born by somebody having the vision, the execution, and the marketing in order to do that, right? All those categories were built. Now, after that, you got fruits. Well, we all eat fruit. But, what happened with Jamba Juice? They took fruit and they did it a different way. What about the acai bowls? And what about the edible arrangement? So it's a different category. So by us printing on the flowers, we went to the biggest trade show promotional product in the world in Las Vegas, the promotional product. And we were the only flower company with logos on the flowers. Yeah. And we won the best product in the show, kind of like winning the Oscar for the movie industries.
It's a big deal.
And the problem is, here's what happened. After that happened, this is where things started getting crazy for us. Now we got featured in over 500 media publications in the Miss America, Good Morning America, in the Grammys, Kentucky Derby. We were chosen #1 product in entertainment television. We were chosen. We will receive many awards. We even have Tom Cruise giving our flowers in the Ellen Show for a Mother's Day. So we got to the point we were producing over 60,000 stems of roses a day.
Wow.
So the logistic of that was a nightmare. That's where we learned the lessons. And we're looking for ways in how we replicate ourselves. And the only way how to do that, you can't do it alone, but you have to do it strategically. And that's why we're moving towards those new channels.
Okay, and so these new channels where you mentioned select distributors, florists for funerals, weddings, that kind of thing, that will assist you with the product flow?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, because those are channels that they already have the distribution.
Right.
And the distributors are open new channels, and then they maximize those channels that already exist, right? Because through them I go to all the florists, to all the funeral homes, and to whatever other business that already is established.
That's fantastic. So, I mean, you'll never reach every gift shop and every funeral home and every florist in America. I think that's a longer reach, or in the world, right? Because you're looking for the global reach. You're looking for strategic replication. What about your strategic representation? Do you have sales teams around the world that are able to do this, or would these florists, funeral homes, and shops?
Yeah, that's a good question. So our distributors are becoming our partners in a sense, because our distributors, they know people, they connect with people, businesses, and they have relationships. So You don't have connection. And our distributors, that's why it's limited. We only can work with a few distributors. And those distributors open the doors for many different places. Hey, I have a guy that wants to open this in Qatar. Well, guess what? Now Qatar, they want to have the exclusive rights. And to buy the exclusive right, you have to pay money. Well, our distributors get benefit because somebody buy the exclusive right of Qatar.
Right.
So the distributors become literally our partners, and that's how we start growing this model worldwide.
That's fantastic, because you don't have to physically be there and have this resource there. People can just...
Right. In a sense, what we're trying to do in the United States, we're trying to build a model that can become replicatable to the point to become to the point that our goal is to create a franchise model.
I was about to ask that as my next question, as a point of growth to move into the franchise model. So what would the limitations to that be?
Well, right now we're trying to build the model that is a cookie cut model, replicatable, simply because it's there's so much opportunity out there, and we need to be focused, right? It's the opportunity is so big that kind of like confuse people sometimes, because there's too many opportunities. That's why we focus on florists, focus on funeral homes, and gift shops through our distributors.
That's fantastic. I like the mentality, because even though they are small, they're mighty in number, so they become a very large segment of potential growth.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if a distributor, for example, makes $2 selling our flowers, and flower shops buys 100 to 200 every single month.
Right.
You're talking about now, $2 every 100 is $200. $400 is they buy 400.
Right.
Well, now that's in one flower shop.
Right.
Well, you get 10 flower shops, that's $4,000. Now you get 100 flowers, that's $40,000 residual income.
Right.
So my goal with my distributors is so they can create the network relationship. That's why we work with a few only, because the one that will open those channels are going to grow with us to forever, because they have to maintain the relationship. They have to be there. They have to. So in a sense, they're becoming our families.
Yeah.
Distributors are becoming our families.
That's fantastic. And you take care of your family, and your family takes care of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Love that, Rene.
Yep.
Thank you. So as we're on the conversation of growth through these different channels, potentially moving into a franchise option, what's stopping you today from that growth potential?
Well, so, we did very good. So our company has gone through three different stages, Stage number one is we sold the flower directly to the consumer, the fresh live flowers. And we did well, very well. We did really well. But there's a lot of things that we learned that we can't learn without having production facilities in multiple locations, because fresh flowers died. I remember sending a very, very large order. And this is something for you to understand. Most people in the flower industry, and if you have any florist ever hearing something like this, so when they sell flowers to a company, they sell it to a company, but they talk to the lady that managed the petty cash budget of the business, right? So because somebody died, somebody has a birthday, they want to recognize somebody, they use petty cash dollars. Us, we learned that we talk to the marketing guy. Well, marketing guy has big, huge budget, and that budget is used for our flowers. So some of our orders, you're talking about from a company, $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 order, that's a normal thing for an event, right? So when you're talking about those type of volume, and then we have to ship those flowers all over the other side of the United States, for example, and we do the perfect job. We put them in a cooler, we put them in a truck cooler, we put them in, we do everything perfect. But if the flowers arrive and they put them in a warehouse for the full weekend, no water, no cooler, and a heat warehouse, those flowers will die, right? Well,
yeah.
When we learned that they blame it on us several times, we learned very quickly that even if we can grow this, we can't do it alone. We have to have somehow some type of network out there. Right. So that's when we moved to our second stage. Our second stage was we were selling the technology. We were licensing our technology because we have patents. We have a lot of patents in multiple different ways. And by doing that in to license the technology, we did really, really well with that. The problem with that is that if I sell the technology to Susie, to Peter, to Paul, to Julie, well, now it's Julie's business because we were not a franchise. It was Julie's business, it was Peter's business, it was Paul's business. Well, it's their vision of a picture. What does a good quality picture looks like? It's based on their own standards. So we learn a lot about the mistake that you should not be doing, right? So when they have their own vision about packaging, marketing, pictures, website, everything, now it's not your vision.
Right.
It's their vision. It's their business.
Right.
They're just licensee of Speaking Roses. So when we learn about Forever Roses, we start creating a worldwide brand strategy where we control the production, we control the product, the marketing, and everything, so we can scale it worldwide. Mm-hmm. And now we create a replicatable model that could turn into a franchise.
Fantastic. What's stage 3?
Stage 3 is the Forever Roses.
Oh, it's stage, okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is forever. This is the stage 3 where we build now we control the production. Now we control the marketing. Now we control the how to sell it, what to say, what market, what channels. And then we enroll people that want to play on our terms. That's why we look for distributors, right?
Right.
But we control that. And then with our feedback of our distributors, that's how we grow channels, And then with partnership, with exclusive partnership is how we grow by countries until we have the model ready for a franchise.
Fantastic. I mean, that seems really accessible and replicatable for the listeners to move through stages of their business to help promote growth and maybe consider out of the box thinking for their growth, whether it be a franchise opportunity, local distributors, moving the technology around the country or the world so that it's closer to where their target markets are.
Oh yeah, we become really good at this whole process. We learn we pay the price. It was painful. So if anybody needs help with licensing model, just reach out. Love to help you because I understand the pain.
I think the best lessons are hardest learned, right?
Oh yes, 100%, and they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But hey, entrepreneurs have a different type of mindset. You just follow through it, and then you just, when you're in our industry, I'm the only one in the world doing something like that. I don't know if I'm stupid enough, crazy enough, or visionary enough to see something that I'm creating a new category,
Absolutely.
I'm creating a new behavior, basically.
Yeah. Fantastic. Is there, Rene, as we're about to wrap up, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience that's interesting about your business growth? Well,
we always love to have relationship in every industry. If somebody's listening to this and they think like, wow, I'm connected to a fundraiser that they would love to have flowers. Well, there's so many ways how you make money. We can create fundraising flowers for whatever school, whatever baseball, cancer, foundations, whatever you have. We have programs because everybody buys flowers. Everybody has a mother, a loved one, and a birthday, and anniversary, and a good reason, excuse to buy something. And flowers is the national rose. By the way, we just created the national flower of the United States of America. Most people don't realize that if you have an eagle or a flag, well, you're missing the flag, the rose. The rose should be in your house as a collectible item. We create the first collectible rose American item. Plus, it's the 25th anniversary of 9/11 this year as well.
It's a big year for sure. 250 for America, 25th for 9/11. Yeah, I think any reason to give a rose is a good reason.
I agree.
A forever rose, yeah. And I read a statistic somewhere where there's 80% of men don't receive their first flowers or roses until their funeral.
And you know what? I am actually from Latin America, and I remember. I'm talking about a macho kind of guy. Here you got a macho kind of guy. So I've never been a little bit of never been very delicate on things. But I remember the day that a girlfriend gave me flowers, and I was so classy. It was so elegant. It was so classy. It just makes me feel special.
Yeah.
So, and then I have a gentleman call me, and he said, Rene, I got divorced. And I went through a very dark time of my life. I started dating this sweet girl. And I'm the president of a large corporation. I'm not going to tell you what company it is because you know it. But I just want to tell you my experience. And then he said, one day, somebody received flowers. And everybody's like, who are these flowers for? And somehow they were for me. And I have no idea. And the flowers, they went up, second floor, third floor, fifth floor. They come to my floor. They put flowers in my, it's like, what? Somebody gave me flowers? That's weird. So he opened the flowers. And then he saw the flowers, and then he saw the message. And then he said, Rene, I tear up. It was from my girlfriend. The phrases that she put, it make me feel so special. And he said, every man that believes a man, 100% should receive flowers in their life.
100%, yeah.
Because it's
Flowers
a
are for
very
everyone.
classy, elegant, and, personal touch.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone deserves beautiful things.
Yeah, it's just touching. I mean, we're sensitive too, you know. We could be macho looking or whatever, but we're all very sensitive human beings, and we all have, our softest spot in our hearts that when somebody touches it, it's like, wow, it really created a spark.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, Rene, thank you so much for your time today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you about Speaking Roses and your business growth. For everybody listening today, I'll have his information in the show notes if you want to reach out, ask him questions, buy roses, whatever feels good. To close this, my name is Monica Dema. I'm with MD Inc., and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome to the Think Small podcast, hypergrowth for small businesses. So, what's slowing you down?